Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome to the Weekly Wow. This episode is brought to you by Fairway Mortgage Corporation, and we have a awesome title today. How about these 5 words changed her life forever? Don't you want to know what those 5 words are and why they became so important to her? I will tell you that I am so excited to bring on our guest today. And as a brief kind of synopsis, I'm going to tell you that she's always been a top producing lender. She came out of the chute. She did pretty well. She did even better. But something's happened the last 7 to 10 years where she has gone elite. She's one of the best in the universe, right? I can say that, universe, right? And but here's the thing. No matter where the productivity is, the other side of it is this gal is also our ambassador of light within the generosity generation. And last year, out of all the members of the generosity generation all around the country, she received the Big Heart Award. And this is a very, very special award. This is given to, the person with the biggest heart, the person who showed the most heart, the person who, really got involved with generosity and led with generosity the most throughout the year. And we have documented results and stats from that generosity. And I will tell you that it is one of the biggest pleasures I've had this year to welcome Sandy Krestan to the Weekly Wow. Welcome.
I am super stoked to be here. You know me, I love everything about 7L and your commitment and your team. And so I'm super happy to be here.
Well, thank you. And I know you're super busy. You are in the midst of a record-breaking year. So first and foremost, thank you from me and thank you from the Generosity Generation for taking your time. And this show is called the Weekly Wow. The WOW is an acronym for Words of Wisdom. And so we always kind of break it down for our guests and for people who are on is what were the words of wisdom that seem to have the biggest impact on you? So let me ask you normally people are they're going to wait till the very end to give you the answer you're seeking. We're going to start with it. So, what are those 5 words that truly made the biggest difference in your life?
I would say it's actually 6 words. And if I ever had 2, it would say this, but I'm afraid of needles, so I won't get one. It would say, give your best to your best.
Yeah.
And that, when I read the book, it literally hit me between the eyes, because at that point, I think I had been doing loans for 26 years or so. And so it just
started when you were 3. How does that even work? The math, I'm doing the math in my head real quick. And it's you've done mortgages for 30 years,
36 years.
No way. Holy smoking Joe. I'll tell you what, I need to start doing mortgages because that's what you look like if you do mortgages for 36. It's obvious I've done real estate for 20 some years, right? It's so here's the thing. I will tell you that okay. So the 5 words that we kind of had in our head, give your best, right? Give your best, your best. And you've added the 2 in there. I love it. Give your best to your best. And the thing, so what impact did give your best to your best, or what does that mean to you?
It kind of gave me a reset on my business barometer. It kind of said, instead of trying to be so much to too many, I need to focus on being more to less. And so it really just sat there and went, who are the best people for me? And it's not even just about business. It's about life. What I learned is when you start focusing on your best for your business, you've got more left for your best at home. So and really looking at, even, about your friends or who you hang with, who you surround yourself with matters. And whether that's what give your best to your best means to me too. It's really that ability to think that way. And then it's kind of morphed into like a superpower of, I'm okay with walking away for some people because they're not going to be my best. They don't have the same core convictions and those kind of things.
Yeah, I love that because, you are known as the ambassador of light. When you come into the room, you light up the room. You're always so positive. You're always so happy. And it sounds like this methodology of give your best to your best, it makes you happier. It doesn't just make you happier. It makes you positive and productive at the same time. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, how it started 10 years ago is different to how it is now. And I think the biggest thing that I didn't realize probably when I started on my 7L journey is that the database I had and graded 10 years ago is not the database that I have today. It's not even a database. I actually call it a community. It's my community. It's my peoples. It's my, who I'm giving my best to. And so I think that was the biggest thing I learned is my database isn't in pen, it's actually in pencil, and it's moving and flowing and changing. And what used to scare me before about the moving and flowing and changing now gets me excited.
Well, and I love that. It's like life's short. Why don't we spend our time with the people that appreciate us and we appreciate them? Why don't we spend it in the places that give us joy? And why don't we do the things that give us joy? It doesn't have to be hard or painful. I think the worst phrase in the world is no pain, no gain, right? It's like, how about just no pain, lots of gain? And that's what give your best, or give your best to your best really kind of sounds like to me, is that instead of like forcing relationships or forcing business, it's more like attracting and just kind of loving on the ones who already supply you. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, and it's also about saying, listen, you might not be my best yet, but you get it.
Yeah.
You want to go there.
Yeah.
And so I think I have this much time in my work day, so I can still have a life, and I'm a mom, and I'm a fur baby mom, and, all of that. And I have my family around me, which is a super blessing. And I got lucky by my coach, Kate Wilson, a long time ago, building champions, that I never put alone for my family. And this just kind of went right into that when I picked up your book, and is saying, listen, if I'm really going to put that importance on my family, my business has to have that same core value. And I wouldn't have articulated it before 7 that way. Right. But it kind of just brought it all together, so I had that value of, I didn't miss my son's baseball game. I didn't miss my son's baseball practices. I was PTO president. I was site council president. I headed up field day. I did campus beautification. I did all that and had a business. And don't get me wrong, there's a ton of loan officers that are doing more dollar volume than me across the country, hands down. But there's the generosity generation gives me a great living and the ability to have a life. And at the end of the day, that's what's important. And I have this much time. I need to know who my who are. And my best to my best gives me knowing who my who are.
Well, and this is the Weekly Wow is brought to you this time by the Referral Mastery Summit. Check it out, referralmasterysummit.com. And Sandy is going to be teaching at the Referral Mastery Summit. And she's going to be teaching on grading your database is one of the topics that she's going to be covering. Quick 18-minute session. So very quick session, full of content, full of the juice, as we say, right? Not as much of the peel and more of the juice. And that's these 18-minute kind of TED Talks that we're doing within the Referral Mastery Summit. People have really enjoyed those. And I think it's one of those where, give your best has scientific backing as well. Professor Robin K. Dunbar in the United Kingdom did a lot of study on neuroscience, and he's discovered that really the part of our brain that makes us human only allows us to really build 150 great relationships. And within that, there's like super relationships, and we can really only build like 5 to 10 like phenomenal relationships. But this is so counter to the marketing world and the world that's out there where it's like, well, there's so many people you don't know, you should go to them instead of going with the people that you do know. And Sandy has flipped that. She's gone with, you know what? I'm not going to worry about the world that I don't know. I'm actually going to meet the people that I don't know through the people I do know. The inward rule straight out of 7L is, you know what? I'm going to build great relationships. They're going to introduce, connect, and refer me to great people. The trust is already there. And you have this giant community, but not just a community of people, but a community of trusted relationships. And, this is so counter. It's like how many people were told to do something in bulk or told to send out a postcard en masse to their database. And this flips that on its head. This is very strategic, very specific, and very relational, almost uber relational. So can you give a specific example of giving your best to your best, or giving your best your best and spending your time with the right people?
Yeah, I think the biggest, if you would have told me, I was very much, I have to be in my office. I have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't leave until 6 o'clock at night. I have to be in the branch where I am right now on March 12th. That's exactly what I would say. And then this little thing hit us all. And in the matter of one night, grabbing boxes, plastic tubs, carts, the three of us on the team moved to our houses to work. And I learned that what I thought didn't really have to be. And so I think the big thing was, we went home, we've had some of our best unit dollar months, but we've also had some of our best connecting months. So I think for me, it's never been about units and or dollars. It's a family we serve and that we want to bring home. But really, it really hit home of I'm calling you, checking in on you. Do you need anything? And your world kind of flipped, right? So you had, let's go out and have lunch. Let's connect. Let's do our one-on-one. And that wasn't happening, so it was connecting, via Zoom, and it's connecting via just, my voice over the phone. And it's the most valuable piece to my business, having a telephone. And I know we all have it, and it's just become getting back to basics. I've probably said that, I don't even know how many times over the 36 years. 2007 happened here in the Arizona market crashed. We got to get back to the basics. And we get all caught up by the shiny, flashy stuff. In fact, it's the basics that will carry you through, will bring you home. And we just really kind of said, okay, let's really just connect with people. It was something, I don't even know when you said it to me. And Pam on my team, who's also my sister, joined me after retiring from the education world 2 years and 3 months ago. And I always had a system, and I always had checklists, and I always had that. But when I brought her into the team, we really made it predictable and reproducible. You said this one word to me, I don't even know where we were. It literally was like, it was more of a question. You said, are you referable? And that was like, wow, how do we bring it we're really good. How do we bring it to great? You know, and there's sometimes it's the mortgage world and it's COVID. COVID has taken us on a roller coaster ride in the mortgage world with changing of guidelines like that. And then changing again, and then changing another time. And we're doing the best we can. And, you know, we're not perfect. You know, we've had one loan since all these changing guidelines we couldn't end up doing. One loan. And let me just tell you, I remember every pain and ache on that loan, and it still hurts my heart to this day. But I've also learned I can't, you know, I'm not perfect. You know, the only perfect person I know is Jesus. And so I'm not going to totally take it and move forward and not worry about, I'm not perfect when it comes to 7L either, right? July, one of our busiest times for the two of us. And there was times where it took 5-6 days for us to get people back with numbers. And I'm like, and I'm not going to compare myself to the big banks that are taking 30-40 days. But for us, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do to fix this? What are we going to do to make this predictable, reproducible, and referable? And how do we do those things? Through the systems. And so I think it's really been, we've kind of slowed down with COVID and working at home for, golly, almost 3 months. A little over that, to make us referable. And if we're referable and then there's somebody who doesn't get the value in how we are, to me, I let it go. We're moving on. Where before I'd have been, oh, come love me. Please love me. What don't you like about me?
Right? You would have felt rejected, right?
Oh my God.
You would have chased. Maybe you would have even chased, right?
Oh.
And that's what everybody's taught. So awesome to have Sandy Krestan here. And I just discovered that her business is 100% referral. And you got to realize she's setting records in 2020. She's setting records this year. And I want to know, like, how is it even possible that you are 100% referral and you are setting records? What's going on?
I think the biggest thing that makes that happen is we have created a team, and we're powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage, Arizona's #1 lender, as well as #5 in the country non-call center. And what we do is we take care of our families and we bring them home, whether that's purchasing or refinancing or even our referral partners. We add massive value. And so we know that not everyone's created equally. We're going to ask some questions. We're going to listen. And we're going to customize it to you. And we serve people in Arizona and Illinois and bring them home every single day.
Check it out, Sandy Krestan. You can check her out. Make it happen. She's in the Arizona area. Sandy, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how can they do it?
Our team hotline is 480-420-7107, or you can check us out online at sandykrestan.com.
So it actually brought out 3 questions that I had. Is number one is, you know, what does back to basics really mean? Like, everybody talks about back to basics, you know, and it's like, what is back to basics? Like, what is that? Like, what does that even mean? Does that mean we go back to cold calling and taking our wagon and going from town to town selling snake oil? Or, you know, that's truly back to the basics of early sales. You know, it's like, what is this back to basics, right? For you.
It's the 7L back to basics. About asking better questions and shutting up, for me, and listening. And just because I think I know what is needed, because it's what maybe I need to really ask really good questions and then listen to what is needed and then do it to the right people. You know, it really was about back to basics, is not trying to be everything to everybody, and realizing what our value is. And in the mortgage world, when it comes to putting loans together, our listing agent customer care program that should be attractive to every buyer agent out there, and then delivering on it and being able to deliver on it, right? Not, you know, and sitting there really with back to basics, So even if it wasn't Zoom, we had some internet challenges around us when Zoom first hit and my internet went down, my modem, and then they had to replace it, but they wouldn't come in the house, and all the crazy parts. So I couldn't do Zooms, but I sure could go, and just pick up the phone and say, and as crazy it is I'm thinking about you. I know it's crazy right now, and I know you could be thinking you don't need anything, but I just want to let you know, no matter what it is, I'm here to help. Strings attached.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like back to basic of relationship building. It's like Zoom. Would somebody say, is Zoom back to the basics? Well, the answer is yes, it can be. Zoom is the tool. That's why I wrote the 7 levels of communication. Is nobody had really talked about, does the tool make a difference in building relationships? And the answer is it does. Technology makes a difference. It can make a difference. A Zoom call can be a powerful call. But the thing is it is back to relationship building and building it at the highest level. And I have to tell you, this boomerangs or filters right back into give your best. Because here's the thing, why don't we give everybody our best? Why don't we give massive value first to everybody? Well, the reason psychologically is because we don't know if they're going to reciprocate. We don't know if it's going to be worth our time, effort, energy, money, heart, soul, everything. So we don't know it's worth it. So what we do is we just don't do it with anybody. But what Sandy has done is identified through grading her best of her best. So guess what? Now she can pour all this. I mean, do you think that Sandy pours her heart and soul into her clients and into her business and into her relationships? The answer is 100%. So I will tell you what, she probably would have suffered from burnout and been out of this business a long time ago if she had not had this concept of give your best, because when you give your best, you can put your heart and soul into it and it's rewarded. You can put your heart and soul into it and it's appreciated. It's not always at the same level, but it's at least appreciated, respected, and given back. And that leads us to kind of the next thing is, how you said, who my who, right? Who are my who my who? How do you pick your who? What do we need to do to pick our who?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you can't give everything to everybody because not everybody will appreciate what you do. And, the problem with being a giver, which I hear this all the time, right? I'm a giver. Help people with guidelines in the office, whatever, is when you become a giver, there are takers. And that's the hard part in the mind shift of give your best to your best is I can't give to everybody because not everyone's going to appreciate that. And I want to look at people who will appreciate, how hard we work. I want people who appreciate that we're in the business of actually pre-underwriting a file and making sure, and if there's a mistake made, man, it was not because we weren't thorough or not because we don't keep up with guidelines. It's because it's still a changing world. So I think the thing for me is to try to spend as much time with people who actually would appreciate it. And then really figure out if they aren't we grade our database a little different in number wise than what we teach in 7L, an A+ for an ambassador for a real estate agent is more than one referral a year. Referral, not a closing. It's your job to close it. 1+. Well, for mortgages, it's got to be an ambassador for me is somebody who's 12+ a year. So I've got to know the numbers, and we're going to teach on this at Certified Referral Trainer, but the numbers that I actually need. Because if I just tie it to any number, I'm going to get to the end of the year and I'm going to fall short of where I need to be. And then I'll be like, oh, wow, I wonder why, So I've got to make sure that I have capacity for a certain amount of ambassadors. And it may be, maybe this person isn't an ambassador, but man, they get it. I mean, their heart. And the first thing they always say is, if it's a Sunday, I'm so sorry I'm bugging you. Got a client, they're writing an offer. Can I get this pre-qual updated? Instead of somebody that goes, I need it in 10 minutes, exclamation on Sunday at 9 o'clock. And I sit and I look at that and it makes me want to vomit. I mean, you got only so much time. And I think the more committed you are to yourself, the more committed you are for the people that you serve. And so I think it's a matter of, maybe there's somebody in my database that's a champion, but man, they get it. Appreciate it. And that's where I bring in the coaching piece of 7L, saying, let me help coach you on this. Because it isn't how we're all wired naturally. It's not what they teach you in any other selling program, because they sell. 7L doesn't teach you to sell. 7L brings you to connecting. And connecting and selling are two different things.
Yeah, 100%. It's about attracting the right people into your life and attracting the right clients. And people want to help you, and they tend to help you with referrals. Why do they want to help you? Because you've helped them in some way, and you hit it on the head. And you match your values with the people around you. And I think the biggest, most awesome thing about all of this is you just quit working with jerks. You quit working with jerks. You don't have to work with jerks. You don't have to work with jerks. You don't have to work with jerks. Give your best to your best. And guess what? They will hang out. They will do what they need to do. They will help you. They will spread the word for you. And the last kind of question on here, and you're teaching all of this on the grading and the communication plan around the grading. And I don't want to necessarily disclose or reveal all the secrets of Referral Mastery Summit. But listen, everybody, if you haven't signed up for Referral Mastery Summit, go there now, referralmasterysummit.com, and use the code WOW, W-O-W, lowercase, and you will get a $200 discount or bonus for listening to this today. And that is WOW, $200 off the entire package, including recordings at this point, referralmasterysummit.com. And you talked about, systematizing referability. Can you systematize referability? Like how to wow, right? I mean, how do you wow everybody? System.
Well, it is. And the crazy part is, because last year's Referral Mastery Summit live in person was off the charts. I mean, I like to think I'm a little bit of a 7L guru. I love it. I sleep, eat, breathe it. I walked away with notes and notes and notes to make changes, because when I read it the first time, I'm in a different place. When I read it the time 5 years ago, I'm at a different place now. And, my heart is different. My head is different. My team is different. And so what I plan on doing is at Referral Mastery Summit is the strategies, tips, and tools, and taking away the scars of doing it the wrong way. Because I would love for everyone to kind of learn from my challenges in implementing the last 10 years, because your database is something that is in cement. It's the foundation of the 7L journey that you're on. If you take a journey of generosity, it all starts hands down with your database, your community. And if you don't get it graded, you've increased the percentage of chance of doing business with the wrong people. They might be okay in life, they're just wrong for your business.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the strategies, the tips, the tools. I'm going to, get rid of some of the quicksand that I fell into in doing in the 7L system, and what I've learned since March. I mean, I just think that we're in this whole new world, and our community needs us more than ever, and connecting. And I just know that, we're all on this growth pattern together, and I'm super excited. And I really believe that the grading your database is the one thing that has to happen before the next thing happens. And so, and it's not because, I want you to hire me as a coach. It's not because anything other than you will stop spending time with the wrong people once you grade your database.
Yeah.
And that's going to open up the predictable, reproducible, referable, because you're going to say, I hear it all the time, I'm so busy. And I'm like, busy doing what? because you still haven't created your database. You're talking to the wrong people. And then you want to wonder why at the end of the month you sit with a big fat goose egg when it comes to, you know, and it all starts that journey with your who.
Yeah. Give your best to your best. It sounds like you go from busy to business, whereas most people are just busy and it just leads to more busyness, right? Does your busy lead to busyness, or does your busy lead to business? And your busy leads to business. It leads to referrals. It leads to revenue. It leads to income. And, you know, Fairway Mortgage is a sponsor of today's Weekly Wow as well, the Fairway Mortgage Corporation, and you're the local representative for that in Arizona. And so, you know, this isn't one of our rehearsed questions, but, you know, what do you love about being with Fairway, and how does it serve you to help you serve others?
Well, I started in the mortgage business in Illinois, and we moved out here to Phoenix a little over 20 years ago. So in 36 years, I've worked for more than 2 handfuls of mortgage companies. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. I've heard the promises. You know, it's crazy. What I love best is we have an entire team that has a heart for serving. And so, you know, we're super competitive. We're systematized with bringing loans into our assembly line of taking care of business. Here in Arizona, we're Arizona's #1 lender, Fairway. And so we've got the heart for serving people. We get that it's not a file, it's a family. And we've just really done everything in the production to deliver on time as promised. And so I feel very, very, very blessed to have moved my team here 2.5 years ago. Really, you know, other than I really don't live in a life of regret, I learn in a life of learning. When they tried recruiting me like 10 years ago and I said no, what a goofball. Thinking, right?
Yeah.
So I feel very blessed to have my team here at Fairway. And I just know that, you know, we're continuing to grow and use technology not to confuse our clients, but to make the experience even better.
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, this whole thing reminds me of going back to the Star Power Star days. And, you know, a lot of our Referral Mastery Summit has been dedicated and based off what Howard Brinton did with his Star Power Annual Conference and the stars of the Star Power Annual Conference. And, you know, whenever you would look at the book, you would kind of look at the titles and you would look at the speakers. And it's one of those where there were just certain speakers that it didn't matter the title. I was going to go to their session. And Sandy Krestan is that type of person. Is you're going to see a lot of titles when it comes to the Referral Mastery Summit. I'm telling you, you can have 100% confidence that you can pick her session or a couple of sessions that have her name on it, and you're going to be smarter when it's all said and done, and you're going to have actionable items that you can put into your place that will not only help your business, but help your life too. And Sandy, you've delivered a ton of words of wisdom to us today during the Weekly Wow. And I just want to say thank you so much for being our guest on the Weekly Wow.
Awesome. Well, I'm super grateful for you and your entire team. You've changed my world. So, I mean, go if you want to be somewhere different than where you are today. Sign up, just rip the Band-Aid off, do it. It is the best value out there when it comes to getting to people that actually implement, because we could cheerlead, a lot of places cheerlead you all the way home, but if you don't implement, if you don't change an action, then we have sucked. And here's the thing about Michael and his team, they don't suck. It just does, it isn't them. And so I would encourage
That's our new slogan, Sandy. We're good. We were thinking about a motto for our company. Referco, we don't suck, is now the new one. So thank you for giving us that words of wisdom before we leave. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, for sure register. It's amazing. You just won't regret it. You won't.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your words of support as well as your words of wisdom. And ladies and gentlemen, you can go to referralmasterysummit.com, use the code WOW, all lowercase, for $200 off the whole package right now. Make sure you get that happening. During Referral Mastery Summit, it is 3 days of half days. So 1 to 5 p.m. essentially each and every day for 3 days, October 7th, 8th, and 9th. We do record the sessions in case you miss. And here's the thing, you're going to miss because there's multiple sessions at every session. So you get to pick, you get to choose, you get to place. This is essentially your summit, not our summit. We're going to provide the content. You pick the order that you want the content, and you get to take it anytime you want from the convenience of your home. And we're there October 7th and 8th and 9th to provide the venue and provide the opportunity for you. And I cannot be more excited for Referral Mastery Summit. The things that we're doing behind the scenes, this is not a summit. Like it's like Referral Mastery Summit, but it's like, this is going to be like a three-dimensional experience. And I can't wait for it. Referralmasterysummit.com. Check it out. Use the code WOW because you were on the WOW today. Forward this, share this message. Some of you started watch parties. Thank you so much. I literally forgot to ask you to do that in the beginning. I'll try to do that from now on. That was a great idea by those of you that have done that. And last but not least, thank you to Fairway Mortgage Corporation and Sandy Krestan for sponsoring and being our partners in the Referral Mastery Summit. Some of the first ones to sign up to support and partner with us. And we're very, very much appreciative of that. So Sandy, thank you so much for being our guest on the Weekly Wow today. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you. Right back
All
at
right. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, we will be here with the Weekly Wow at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and it is one that you will not want to miss. We are going to talk about how do you get a referral a day? How do you get a referral every single day? Every single day. What would your life be like if you woke up and there's a text message, hey, my sister needs to buy. Hey, my sister needs to sell. Or if you're in travel, hey, we need to book a trip. How cool would it be that literally you woke up every day in your email, in your text, in your Facebook messages, there was somebody to help? Would that be good? We're going to show you how to do it next Wednesday on the Weekly Wow at 1 p.m. right here in the Generosity Generation group. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. You're awesome. Love you.